Hi, it's Lena, and I want to chime in on the conversation of whether or not you can recover from an eating disorder on your own. As an eating disorder recovery coach myself, I have a few points that I want to bring across in this video, so let's jump right in. Let me just give you my answer first. The answer is, it depends. Is it completely impossible to recover on your own? No, absolutely not. Should you recover on your own? Probably not. Okay, so let's dive into why I think this way. The very first thing that you want to ask yourself if you're figuring out whether or not you should recover on your own is to define recovery. What actually does it mean to really be recovered from an eating disorder? And so in my experience as an eating disorder recovery coach, I feel that there are like two levels to being recovered. The first level is just physical recovery, meaning that you're getting your body out of starvation mode and you're like restoring your weight, you're repairing all of the damage in your body that has been done, and you're really just focusing on eating and on like getting out of all of the crazy things that you do around food, and you get yourself to a point where you're just completely okay on like a food level and a body level. You don't hate your body anymore, you're okay in a bigger body, and you're enjoying food again, and you're feeling pretty free around food. That is like the first level to eating disorder recovery. And that level, I believe you can definitely get yourself to. And a lot of people are doing it. This whole all-in approach is very popular right now all over YouTube, all over the recovery communities, and it works, right? It works. It's a really good way to move yourself out of the physical implications, to move yourself into a place of physical recovery. And so, yes, you can get yourself to that level, and that's amazing. In my personal opinion, there's, however, a second level to eating disorder recovery. And for that, you kind of have to think, why do I even have an eating disorder? And what do I need to do to make sure that I'm not going to just relapse the moment my life gets a little hard? So why do you have an eating disorder, right? And I've said in so many of my videos before, I personally believe that eating disorders are not really a disorder in the sense that there's something wrong with you, right? They're a coping mechanism for a deeper issue, for a deeper pain. And so you have to really understand that to understand what full recovery looks like. So there's this deeper pain, and you're using all of this stuff around food to cope with that, to deal with that. So you can take away the coping mechanism, and you can do that on your own, but the question is, how are you going to cope with that problem now? And you don't want to just run yourself into a new addiction, into a new destructive pattern, because you want to actually look at that pain that is underneath the eating disorder, and you want to like resolve that. So that is level 2 to recovery, which is also the final level, right? It's like you want to be able to move all that pain out of your body. You want to really process this thing that caused your eating disorder in the first place, right? How are you going to really get rid of something when you don't go to the cause? It's not going to happen. So to really fully recover, in a sense that you're not going to relapse, or you're very likely not going to relapse, you want to dive straight to that pain. You want to look at that deeper issue and really process that. And then by the end of that, okay, now your chances to be recovered and stay recovered have gone up by like 500%. Now, to get to that level, you need a few skills, and you really need to know how to do some deep inner work. So is it possible to get yourself there? Yes, of course it is, but I would say it's possible if you've been trained in something like that, in some kind of trauma release, in some kind of coaching, in some kind of psychology. If you know how to move trauma out of the body and how to work with your own resistance and how to really work with your own subconscious mind, then of course you can do it on your own. It's just that most people are not trained in this field. And so to recover, you can start training yourself in that field, but it takes a hot second to really understand that and to really be able to facilitate that. And it's always a little bit easier to facilitate that for somebody else because you're not in that emotionally than to facilitate it for yourself. And so it's not impossible. You can definitely do it, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so for that level, in my personal opinion, you want to get yourself a professional. You want to work with someone who can actually move you to that level so that you can be fully recovered and stay fully recovered also. So, in summary, I would say, yeah, you can recover on your own, but you have to really define what you mean by recover. Yes, you can physically recover 100% on your own. That takes some resistance to push through, and it takes some strong willpower, but you can do it. And that I've seen a lot of people do that. But to get to the second level of recovery, I feel like you really need to either step up your own game, really become trained in that yourself, or find somebody who can do this for you. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and write down in the comments below what your definition of recovery is, and if you would be happy to just stay at level 1 for the rest of your life, or if you would like to take it to level 2. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'm just going to leave you with that for today. Let that sink in. Let's have a little conversation about it, and I'll speak to you soon in another video. Bye.